guys, welcome to the vlog. Today is Monday. Mondays and Wednesdays are my two favorite days because I feel like I'm capable of being productive on only those 2 days. So today I'm going to be doing a daily vlog. I haven't done that in a while. So this morning we're going to go out and take a run. I hate cardio. Cardio and abs are the two worst things that I feel like I have to do fitness wise, but it's like I think cardio is the most beneficial thing for my body right now because I've been focusing like mostly on weightlifting because I personally think it's not that difficult, and then cardio is. My doors weren't locked. I was about to get snatched. I'm really bummed because my favorite field is like taken by a bunch of soccer players. So I have to run on this field where there's one creepy guy just like walking around, but yeah, it's whatever. It's fine. Maybe he'll leave. I gotta pee. It's a situation. We're gonna have a productive day, so welcome to my daily vlog, guys, and yeah, I hope it's not that boring. Was good. It was just so hot. I think that drained me and I could have done more and I could have ran more laps. Okay, like the sun, I just felt like myself getting like skin cancer. Like I love being out of breath. I just feel like I've done something with my life and like I haven't wasted like the day. Like the day is gonna be productive because I ran. Now let's drive. So in this vlog segment, I really wanted to like talk about something, hence the title of the video, the clickbait and all that. It's really not. So it's just something I really wanted to share with you guys on what's been going on with me and like a life change that has been happening with me that I'm going to be doing. And so that is that I am transferring. Yeah, because as you guys know, I was at Liberty University for my freshman year of college. It was my first year. You guys have seen like a couple of vlogs from that I did at Liberty. But I did make the decision to transfer to another school, and that is George Mason University. So I'm going to clarify a few things about my decision to do that. So yeah, that's what this vlog is mainly about. Even though there's like a lot of other things in it, that's the main thing I wanted to talk about in this vlog. So as much as I would like to depict that what I filmed at Liberty depicted the reality of my life on that campus, they honestly revealed like nothing what was going on behind camera, and my experience there and a lot of what I observed that I felt that I'm not meant to be there. I'll try not to make this so depressing, like it really wasn't. To start off on why you guys may be wondering, why did you even go to this school in the first place? Okay, so I went to Liberty because I did not do well in high school. I mean, I did. I thought I did. But like a video I did way long ago, which I deleted because I'm gonna make a better version of it. Like my experience in high school, I talk about how in the beginning of high school, I didn't challenge myself to my full potential. So I kind of got lazy as the years went on. And by senior year, I was taking like all regular classes, and colleges didn't really like that. So I got denied from a couple like schools that I really wanted to go to, and I applied to Liberty and Mason, and those were like the two schools I got into. And so it was either stay home or go somewhere else, because like at that time I just wanted to change, and that's why I chose to go to Liberty, because they accepted me and it wasn't anywhere near here. So I thought it was like the best choice, and I had a lot of friends going and I knew a lot of people there. So that's why I made the choice to go to Liberty, because it felt like a really safe place to be, and like I had been in like a private school before, so like I kind of knew what I was getting into, but I don't know, it just felt comfortable. Like it didn't feel like outside my comfort zone, but it felt like I was able to get away. I chose to go to Liberty University, which is a private Christian conservative college university in Lynchburg, Virginia. I already kind of knew that I was not gonna fit into the school, but I felt like I was capable, and like last year my depression was nowhere to be found, because 2018 was the best year of my life, and I was just living my life to the fullest, to the best. I was happy. I felt like I was going somewhere with my life. And like my first semester was great. I met a lot of great people. It was really hard making friends, but I felt like I had enough friends to like make it through, you know? And I was really outgoing like a year ago, so I would like talk to anyone. And like the first semester was great, classes were great, professors were great. Like the university itself is a really good campus. But to be straight up, like the two top reasons why I left this university was because of its leadership and the social atmosphere that I was in. There are very major things like your social life, that's like your friends and the people there and how they act towards you. The leadership, which, okay, like I know like you're supposed to respect like authority and all that, but I feel like Liberty University was kind of like pressuring its views, a lot of very Republican conservative views, and I didn't have a problem with being in an area where that is the predominant like view setting on all that. I didn't have a problem with them, but I feel like Liberty University is a place where if you don't agree with this or this, we're gonna force you to agree with this or this, and I didn't like that because I like being individual. I don't like being part of the majority, perhaps, because I just feel like I'm my own person. Like you can't force me to believe something that I don't want to and all that. So I feel like that was really forced. When I got to campus, like if I wasn't like a certain way or I didn't agree with like a certain thing, I was a bad person. And that's a big vibe I got. I don't want to get into specifics about specific views and stuff, but I did feel like myself getting into a lot of debates with a lot of people on views that I thought on my views and just me expressing my opinions, but I felt like the majority of people there weren't willing to accept my perspective on the issue. Because, I don't know, I feel like I'm very outspoken. If people ask my opinion, I will give it to them, but I just have a problem with other people not considering my perspective on the thing, because I feel like I am open to considering other people's perspectives, but a lot of what I saw there was like, it was just a one standard thing. Like if you have to believe this or you're wrong. Like that's like what I felt being there, and with that I felt like oppressed and like discriminated, and just being at a predominantly white school, like, I'm gonna be honest, like I don't mind that, but I just hate the fact how I wasn't like accepted like as an individual with different views and who comes from a different background. Like a lot of things, like I've always had like an identity crisis because I grew up going to a private school, and as you can see, like I did grow up poor, but my parents did sacrifice everything to give me the best education that they could. Like that was their main priority. It was hard growing up knowing that you were a low-income child going into a very affluent area, being around kids who had parents who were successful, and my parents, like I am a first generation, like that was really hard, but it gives you two viewpoints, and I'm glad I had that experience. But then again, like I didn't experience as much like oppression as I did growing up in Northern Virginia, going to a private school, as much as I did as going to Liberty University. I felt way more oppressed there than I ever did growing up here. I do understand where that's coming from, because a lot of kids that go to Liberty are not from the most diverse of places, so they really don't have like experience interacting with people from different cultures, and I think that needs work. I'm not saying not everyone, but a lot of students there feel very uncomfortable talking with someone who is different from them. So that's like a major part on why I didn't feel like I belonged. The things, like I'm gonna be very blunt and like honest, like I felt like my first semester at Liberty, I would go up to anyone and just introduce myself and be like, hey, like, I'm Nadia, like, what's your name? I like your shirt or whatever, like, that type of shit. To start a conversation, to try to make friends. But I feel like I got a lot of, like, side eyes. A lot of people I felt like looked down on me just because I was me. I feel like people know when people think you're, like, weird. I don't know, like, especially with, like, the guys there. I just remember, like, this one time I was with, like, a friend, like, group of guys came over and they only said hi to her, they didn't acknowledge that I was there with her, and so that just really bothered me. I don't know if it was like a racial thing or like they just haven't been exposed to people who are different. Like I wanted people to talk to me more, and I like started reaching out to people and like talking to people, but I eventually felt like they didn't want to talk, and like I tried to be understanding, but I don't know, I think I just reached my limit 3 months into college. I was like, why are people like this? Like, why are people so weird? But I don't want to be like, oh, racism like still exists. Like, I was racially discriminated. Like, no. I just felt like my race and like the way I look and the way I am and the way I talk played a big role in why people act different like around me, and like the interactions that I had were not the interactions my other friends had. These two I really need to go more in depth, and I do plan on telling my story and in future videos. The first one is that being at Liberty, I talked about like my social situation. I feel like people were there and like people were willing to open up to me and to be like a genuine friend. I'm not saying this was everyone. I really like I met a lot of great people. Like I talk about people on my hall that I met that were really kind and open to being my friend, and I really appreciate that because that made like a bigger impact in my college experience than you guys know. Like that was something that really meant a lot to me, and I'm so grateful that some people on my hall were like really open to being my friend. But I also feel like just transitioning to college itself is a hard time for everyone because you are leaving your home and you are leaving the support system that you created, that you have for yourself. I feel like you were leaving that, and there was like a point in college where there was only one person keeping up with me from home, and that was just like a big eye-opening thing. Like that was like nobody cares. Like I felt like nobody cared. Obviously they did. Like, but I feel like I need to have a frequent support system, especially with like problems I do face and just challenges I'm going through, like personal battles that I am facing. I feel like I need accountability. The biggest thing was just having no one to talk to who knew about my past and who knew about things I had been going through, because everyone I met at Liberty was like new and they didn't know me that well. They didn't know me at all. And so that was really hard, and I feel like if I had more support from back home, I would have been fine. I just feel like I need people there. I don't want to be like, oh, I'm so dependent on people, like I need people to live. Like, no, that's not what I'm going at. I'm going at the fact that I feel like I had a support system from home, and I feel like when I went to college that like disappeared, and that was really hard. And the fact that I couldn't build one at Liberty was even harder. And like because I didn't have any support system, in February of 2019 I did relapse, and it was my worst mental health, depression, relapse, whatever you want to call it, that I've ever had. I want to say like I have come out of it just moving back home, and for the summer like I did come out of it. So I'm very grateful for that. Just during like college, I feel like nobody knew that happened. I felt like a lot of people at Liberty did not understand that. And so that was really hard. Like the people I used to interact with, like when I went into that state, I basically was not myself. And they began to notice that, and they were like, why are you being weird? Like, what's wrong? Like, you have nothing to be mad about. Like, all that. It was very like one-sided. Like they just like acted as if I had no reason to be sad, but it was just because they didn't know what I was going through, and they had never seen anything like that. They had never experienced like a depressed person going into a relapse, which is basically like you're just sad all the time, you cry every single day, you're unmotivated, you sleep too much, you don't eat, like you can't even get out of bed to shower and all of that. Like you just can't move. It's like a very paralyzing thing. And so I would spend days and days in my room without coming out, and because I lived alone at this point, like in my dorm, like my roommate moved out. So I was living alone, and so my friends just got like, I think they got scared. First of all, they got scared, and they were concerned, and they were like, oh, you should get help. And I just got quiet, and I just shut down, and it wouldn't go away. So I got really scared, and there was no one back home who I could talk to at that moment. Like I feel like I'm not ready to talk about this yet, but it was just like the loneliest point of my life, and that was when like I finally realized like I realized a lot during this relapse, but like one thing was like I can't stay here if I'm gonna be like this, and if people are not willing to understand and to be more understanding, then like this is not my place. And like I had a couple people that I knew tell me that depression wasn't real, like it wasn't a thing, and that I was just being stubborn or I was being a bad Christian, and just like all that on top of what I was already going through, like personally, like I was like I had it, and yeah, I terminated my enrollment in like March, and yeah, so that was a very big thing, just like going through that mentally and alone. And I wasn't completely alone. I really want to give a shout out to 3 of my friends who were there during that with me at Liberty. Like, they were understanding of what I was going through and let me be alone when I needed to, but were also there to like keep me accountable and like keep like motivating me, like to go to the gym with them or whatever, or to just talk to them, or just people who are willing to listen and people who did check up on me. Like, that meant so much. um but yeah, I am honestly really excited to be transferring to George Mason University. It's just a bigger campus, a more diverse campus, and I feel like I can do more with myself there. That was it, basically.
So we are getting gas right now. I don't have money for gas, but I freaking drove 904 miles in the past week, or more, probably more. The thing I hate about getting gas, this is sort of like a rant, is that as a female, I always feel so like insecure that I'm gonna get snatched like that, because I don't know, I usually tend to go to like the safest gas stations, but the safest ones are like actually the most expensive, like the less sketchy ones. And so, but then again, I always feel like something bad's gonna happen. Didn't die, so that's a plus. Yeah, now we're gonna go drive more. Okay, now we're going to 7-Eleven first, if you see one, and then we're going to a park because I'm gonna live my best life and I have literally one more day of summer before I start work. And I forgot to say this, but don't forget to like and subscribe on my channel and hit the bell if you want to see more videos, because this is a really good video. Now, bye guys.